Hello, everybody. Over the weekend, I've been sitting back and reflecting a little bit, and I spent so much time preparing for this semester by putting together a structure on Canvas for you to follow through the weekly modules that I sort of forgot to take some time to actually explain to you how this course will operate. So hopefully this can get everybody on the same page and you'll understand how Astronomy 151 is going to work this semester, what you should be doing, when you should be doing it, and that way you don't feel like you're getting left out, left behind, or confused about how this class will proceed. And really, the core to how Astronomy 151 works is the weekly modules. So I will show you an example of this. I'll pull up Canvas and share that screen after this slide. But I want to describe to you what the weekly modules are, because this is the primary way that you're going to be interacting. This is the structure that I worked so hard to put into the class to make sure that nobody gets left behind and you are going along and moving through this class as an experience, even though this is an asynchronous class. I think that's part of the trouble here is that an asynchronous class feels different. It feels odd. It feels like it's a passive thing that you're engaging with. And what I'm trying to do is make our asynchronous class, while you go through the material on your own, that's your responsibility. I give you the material, but I'm going to try to work in as much active engagement as possible where you have opportunities to talk to me via chat options, reflect with me via discussion sections, or actually sit down and have a back and forth live Zoom session. I've built all that into the class. And I think I've done a pretty decent job of describing that so far, but I haven't walked you through what the material actually will look like as it comes to you week by week. And I do that by these weekly modules. So every week, you'll have a new module of content to go through and experience. If you couple that, so you'll see that there's week one, there's the week one module, which we've already gone through. Next week will be the week two module, and then you can go to the semester schedule and you can see week two, and that'll tell you exactly what textbook slides we'll be covering while we are in week two. So that's how you link in the semester schedule and what textbook slides you should be looking at with the content that I'll be covering in the videos and the content that the weekly module is going through. So really, you should be paying attention to the weekly modules and it should have everything that you need for that week. I put everything you could possibly need within the modules. Every module contains a README file, which is going to give you a general description of what the content is, a little reference of the topics that are going to be covered. And then if you choose to watch the videos via YouTube, I provide the YouTube links and any other links that I really need, I will put there in the README. So you might find some supplemental information. It is a README for that week's module. It gives you a lot of information that you need to know. The weekly module also contains all the lecture videos that go along with the textbook slides. The way that I make the lecture videos is most of them have their own unique slide decks. You will recognize some of the slides from the textbook slides, but a lot of them are custom made. And what they are is they're sort of the alternative way for you to access the material. Think of the textbook slides as reading the book. And yes, I expect you to read the book before attending the class. The class is the lecture videos, which you can watch through. And if you've already taken notes or at the very least skimmed through the textbook slides, you know what the vocabulary is, you know what topics are going to be covered, and that will really make it easier to follow along with the videos where I give you a narrative explaining what the material is with its own unique set of slides. So you're seeing that the material is not just me reading the slides, but me trying to present it in a way that's different from the textbook. The weekly modules will also if there's an assignment due, it'll be linked in there. If there's a quiz that week, it'll link not only the quiz or the exam that we're going to be taking that week to the assignment that you can actually click on it and it'll take you to it when it's open to you. But it'll also contain hints and study guides for quizzes and exams. And you'll find links to all the relevant Canvas discussions and any other links or relevant materials I have to put. I'll put those into the weekly module so you can't miss them. All you have to do is look at them, click on them. If you're confused by something, go check out the README. There's probably an explanation. So that's how the weekly modules work. And that's really the primary experience of this class is that every week a new module will be available. They typically are released on Saturday, the first thing Saturday. I think they actually tick over at midnight on Saturday. The next week's module becomes available to you. And then you just work through and go through the material week by week. So I will go ahead and show you the weekly module. I want to do one more slide because I want to tell you that every weekly module has an engagement exercise, as I call it. And these, I abbreviate these EE because typing out engagement exercise or saying it over and over and over gets a little bit tiresome. But every week you'll have this engagement exercise and you'll go through the weekly module. And then that Sunday after the week, you will have a 10-question engagement exercise that's due at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. UTK is in Eastern Time, which means its Canvas operates on Eastern Time. So all the times it lists are in Eastern Time. It does not adapt. So if you're on the West Coast, it will not adapt in display times at specific times. Everything that's listed in there is Eastern Time. Just a word for uh, the wary there. So on Sundays, you have to complete the engagement exercises. 10 questions. You have an infinite number of tries. It'll direct you usually to where you need to go in the lecture notes or what videos to go watch, or it'll give you some hints if you miss the questions. And it's designed for you to be aware of the material that we covered, engage with it a little bit, hence the name engagement exercise. And that way you are following along the course at the pace that I am presenting the material. You can almost think of this is my way of checking that you're attending this asynchronous class, because the material needs to come at you. It's paced out so you can consume it, digest it, reflect on it, and slowly advance through it. And since I'm kind of treating this as attendance, it's also, if you miss an engagement exercise, you missed it. You can't say in week 6, ask me, hey, I missed week 3 engagement exercise. Can I do it? You missed that week's attendance. In aggregate, the engagement exercises are only 10% of your grade. You should also, every week, you should be checking the semester schedule. I mean, you can look in the weekly modules, say if there's a homework assignment due under assignments due. If there's a quiz or exam, it'll appear there as well. But it's really good to check that semester schedule just to be sure. It'll show you if there's a homework assignment due. It'll show you if it'll remind you that the engagement exercises are due on Sundays. It'll tell you what weeks are quizzes, what weeks are exams. And whenever we have quizzes and exams, you will always get 2 attempts at them. Your first attempt will happen on a Monday, and then we'll have some time for reflection for you to learn from your mistakes and get some feedback from me. And then you'll get a second attempt at it on Thursdays. And I'll explain the 2-attempt policy here in a little bit. But one thing to know about the quizzes and exams is they are open book and open notes. You don't need Respondus or Lockdown Browser. I'm not a fan of those utilities. And that means I can't really control what you're doing. So I design all my quizzes and exams to work well in an open book, open note format. They're just not open friends. So I have to trust that you're not going to be taking them with your friends. And then one of the ways I control that is I make hundreds of thousands to sometimes more unique versions of exams than there are stars in the universe. So you will not be taking the same quiz or exam on your first attempt or that you'll be taking on your second attempt, and certainly not the same one that your friends are taking. All right, so I said I'm going to go ahead and show you the Canvas page, and I like to stick to what I say. So I'm going to show you the Canvas page just so you can see. I have the front page where you can find links to each one of the weekly modules. As we get further along in the semester, it might be easier to just come here and click on them. It'll take you to a link. Has the course resources, so the syllabus, please read through it. The semester schedule, always be checking it. Key course information, that's basically the Canvas version of the syllabus broken out topic by topic, easier to navigate. Links to our chat features, GroupMe and Discord, extra credit opportunities, which I'll explain at the end of this video, and then additional links there, and then the textbook at the bottom. But what I really want to show you here is what these weekly modules look like. So if I click on the modules tab, it'll go ahead and load up. You'll have a couple of modules at the top. I like to keep them up there because they are semester long type things. And here we have the week 1 module, the week 2 module. So we're about to start week 2. Tells you the dates that it goes on, so it's easy to reference the schedule. And then here you can see you have the README. I'll also put announcements here. So I'll make an announcements video every week, and I'll also release it to you as a document that you can just read through if you don't want to watch the video. The videos for the week. And then we have assignments due. Next week, there's no homework due. It's just an engagement exercise. If there's any practice problem sets or any other additional information, you'll see those here. So practice problem sets, have them right here. Both the problem set and an answer key, so you can check your work. And the relevant discussions, so you can easily find what Canvas discussions, what way you can engage with me on a deeper level, a more meaningful way, you can click on to uh, make this a richer class and get the help that you need for this class. And you'll see that week 3 is the same thing. You have a README. I'll add announcements whenever the time is appropriate. The videos, assignments due. Notice that the homework is already there. Relevant discussions, and this one even has additional resources. So hopefully those weekly modules really help make sense. Now I want to go ahead and give you some additional information in this video, but that is the key part. So if you need to tune out now, I think I've done what I set out to do, which is describe how this class is going to work by just going through those weekly modules. As long as you're keeping up with those, you are experiencing the Astronomy 151 class as I have designed it. You can be successful in this class. Now, if you want to stick around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe some of the course policies in a little bit more detail. All right, so let's go a little bit more in detail. Let's talk about this 2-attempt policy that I have on quizzes and exams. So every quiz and exam, you'll get 2 attempts to take it. And the idea of this is one of the most human things I can think of is that we make mistakes and then we learn from them. So I've tried to put that as an official course policy. So you'll have your first attempt on a quiz or exam on the weeks that we have them. They'll be on Monday. It'll be available to you from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And you just have to take the quiz or exam anytime within that window. For quizzes, you'll typically get 12 minutes. For exams, you'll get 90 minutes. And I want you to treat the first attempt with all the respect that you would normally give a quiz or exam. Because if you take it and you're happy with your grade, you're free to skip the second attempt. So if you get like a 95 and you're happy with that, you can skip the second attempt. If you get a 100, certainly skip the second attempt. So study for it, try to get the best grade possible because you might be saving yourself from having to use your second attempt. Then, after I have all the results, you will have already taken the quiz, so you know you have learned from your mistakes, or you learned what mistakes you made, so you can learn from them. You know what you didn't know, which is very, very valuable. A very powerful thing to learn is to learn what you didn't know. And then you can start studying from that. And what I will do on my end is I will have all the responses that you had, all the questions, and I'll be able to identify the most missed questions, the most commonly missed concepts, and I'll prepare a response and I'll release that as a Canvas discussion that I will give supplemental instruction, try to shore up what it seems to me that was missed. So I'll cover some questions, I'll cover some basic concepts with some supplemental information that hopefully will get you to where you need to be. And I expect you to read through. My feedback that I give you is the primary way I'm going to give you feedback on graded materials in this class, which is an important thing for you to get. And then I also encourage you to read through what I say, and then post your own individual questions. Or if you have follow-up questions to my response, please post them. Try to make it a peer learning environment as well. So if you see somebody ask a question and you know the answer, explain it from your point of view. That is a very valuable thing. Peer-to-peer instruction works extraordinarily well. And I will always try to offer supplemental and alternative explanations, different ways of viewing it, but it's all coming from one source. And it's really, really hard for me to give you a non-Dr. Lindsay perspective because it's me, Dr. Lindsay, that's giving you the perspective. So having an outside peer perspective can be very, very useful. So now you have seen what you've missed. You have seen what was most commonly missed. You've gotten my response. You've gotten supplemental instructions. You've had several days to interact with me to make sure that you're ready for your second attempt. And that'll happen on Thursday. So based on last semester, the second attempts went much better for those that chose to take it. Lots of people were happy with the first attempt, so they didn't take the second attempt. And in that case, your first attempt stands. Whatever you got on that will be your grade. If you use your second attempt, however, the way that your quiz grade or your exam grade will be calculated is that it'll be the average of your first attempt and your second attempt. This typically leads to a pretty significant boost of half a letter grade to a letter grade if you're doing it in earnest and trying to learn from your mistakes. Now, to make sure that the system works, I have to make sure that you use the first attempt. Otherwise, everybody just sit back, wait to get a bunch of extra information about the quiz, wait to talk to their friends about what was on the quiz, thus destroying the entire system that I've built that's meant to be beneficial to you to learn from your mistakes. So you have to take the first attempt. And the way that I enforce this is that if you skip the first attempt and then you only take the second attempt, your second attempt only counts as 50% of the grade that you earn. In short, I average in a 0 for the first attempt. So make sure you use both attempts. I also want to go ahead and give you a little bit of explanation of how the grading happens in this class. So I have 4 grading categories. I have the exams, I have the quizzes, I have the homework, and the engagement exercises. Let's go from bottom to top. Engagement exercises, those things you'll be doing every week, are worth a full letter grade of weight. A 10% of your grade comes from engagement exercises. So be sure you do them. It's a great way to boost your grade. And if you don't do them, there's no way you can get an A in this class. Then you have the homework average. So this is the average over all the points that you earn on homework. It's not an average of your percentage of each homework assignment. It is the average of all the points that you earned, or really it's just all the points that you earned turned into a percentage versus how many points were total for the homework. And that's 30% of your grade. And why is the homework such a large percentage of the class? It's an asynchronous class. And I don't want to emphasize any singular element, like some test or assessment that you have to take. I don't want to be so weighty in your brain that you only pay attention to that and you're only trying to make the grade. So I've de-emphasized how much each exam is worth, and I've emphasized how much the homework is worth. You get multiple attempts for every homework assignment, and you can slowly go through it where you'll have a full 2 weeks access. I think I've set it to be a full 2 weeks access to the homework. So you can really slowly go through it and digest and learn and engage with the material. That's what I really want. That's where I think the learning is happening. And the quizzes and exams are just checks to see if you've been following along and to see how well you've incorporated the material and mastered the material. And that's why quizzes, overall, there's 6 quizzes, but your quiz average only comes in at 20% of your overall grade. And exams, each one, we have 3 that are during the semester and then 1 final. Each one's worth 10%. Which comes out to a pretty significant portion of the grade, 40%, but each individual one is not a huge element of the class. I mean, it is a big element because I have to make sure that you're mastering the material, but it's not so weighty that in total, 75% of the class is exams, which you'll see commonly in a lot of classes. And one other thing, I have a very odd grading scale for my class. It looks pretty normal where you have basically 90 and above is an A. And this is going to be the first semester I've ever used minuses. And the way that I'm using minuses is if you notice that I have this 0.49% buffer. So 89.5 to 89.999, that's 0.49 below the traditional A. That will earn you an A minus. So a 79.5 to a 79.99, instead of being a C plus, will be a B minus. It's a very small window, but essentially this is my rounding policy. We have enough grades in this where the decimal points actually mean something. But there is a little bit of I wanted to make use of the fact that when you get really, 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 really close, it should mean something. And we have this nice minus system the university has put in place, but I have adapted it to my own purposes, where instead of you asking, hey, what can I do to round my grade? Or, hey, is this 77.6 close enough for you to round me up to a B? I've just put a policy in there that says, yeah, that's worth a B, not a full B, a B minus. Also, use the chat features and discussions that I have on Canvas. This is actually going really, really well, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I just want to tell you that I really work hard and I want you to feel this, and I'll do whatever I can to make it feel this way. I want this to feel like you are participating in a mini astronomy community that you're taking a part with and experiencing. It's more than just a class that you're taking and jumping through hoops. I want you to feel like you're a member of this class, and as a member, you are valued in this class. I think if we can do that, it makes learning more fun, it makes it more engaging, you're more invested in it, and it welcomes you a little bit into my world, which is really the goal of an introductory course, is to be welcomed into a field of study that you may not know a whole lot about. A little thing about the group me, I always consider myself a guest in the group me. That is your space. I am the guest that's in there. I will contribute by sending out reminders, answering questions, things like that. But I am just another member. I am a guest in the group me, just like you are all guests in the group me. I am active in the group Many of you have already seen this. If you've been looking at the group I'm active in the Discord. It's something like that's going to become a smaller, more tight knit sort of community. But I'm active in those, and I'm frequently checking the Canvas discussions. This is sort of what I do since I've made this class asynchronous and I've programmed everything in. That frees me up to engage with you at a very, very high level. And the way I can do that is our chat options, GroupMe and Discord, and through our Canvas discussions. So you can have a lot of feedback from me. I also have the office hours and the live with Dr. Lindsay Zoom sessions, which are supplemental. A chance for you to interact with me one-on-one, but none of those are classes in them. That's not where I deliver class material. Because I really want you to feel like you can engage with me in a meaningful way. I want to figure out what ways I can operate within this class structure that I've built, what feedback I can give you, and what I can do to contribute to your success in learning introductory astronomy. And I want you to really feel and experience and get excited about astronomy, and hopefully inviting you into this world and creating a community, or as best I can, especially in an asynchronous format. Then we'll all benefit from it, and we will enjoy this semester and hopefully have a memorable experience while you are learning introductory astronomy. And the last thing I want to bring up to you is extra credit opportunities. This is a big point in the class, and I'm actually going to put this in another presentation. I'll probably put this in my announcements that are coming up for tomorrow for the week 2 announcements. But I wanted to go ahead in this one video, go ahead and give you this information as well, that there are a lot of opportunities to earn extra credit in this class. In fact, I offer you up to 5 percentage points added to your overall course grade. That's half a letter grade that can be added at the end of the semester to the grade you earned in this course. So the way that I do this is you have an opportunity to earn up to 3 points, 3 extra credit points before every major exam. So before exam 1, you can do each one of these. Between exam 1 and exam 2, you could do each one of these again. Between exam 2 and 3, you could do each one of these. You don't have to do all of them to earn the extra credit. You can pick and choose as you like, when you like. But before every major exam, you'll have an opportunity to earn up to 3 points. Now, I'm going to put the maximum amount of extra credit you can earn as 5% because one, I don't want you spending all of your time just doing extra credit stuff. I want you focusing on the class material. And giving out that many points is just a little bit ridiculous and it gets redundant after a while. So I cap it at 5%. Which means that if you want to earn the 5%, you have to do the extra credit early in the semester. You can't just wait for that time between the exam and the final exam. You'll only have an opportunity to earn up to 3 points in that window. You'll have to have already done some extra credit previously in the semester to get up to the full 5% that I'll add. The 3 opportunities you can do, and you get them every time. You can do them once before every major exam. You're going to write an essay on a space mission. 750-word essay with citations. And it can be on a current, past, or upcoming, already planned space mission. And you can find more details actually in the extra credit opportunities module on Canvas. You can also write a 750-word essay on a famous astrophysicist, living or dead. And then a new opportunity that I'm really excited about is by actually teaching this class for the past 5.5 years, I have come to a deeper understanding of astronomy in general than I probably did through my entire graduate education and then working as a professional astronomer. There's something about teaching it and telling others, guiding them to that knowledge, offering them that knowledge in a easily communicated way, an understandable way that really forces you to make sure that you know the concepts yourself. And I want to give you that opportunity. So you can earn extra credit by picking a topic or a concept. For example, we'll soon talk about the solar versus sidereal day or something like that, and creating your own mini lecture about it. About a 5-ish minute video, 3 to 5 minute video of you teaching that material. It'll be submitted to me. I'm not going to show it to anybody else, but if it's a really good video that I think everybody could benefit from, I may ask your permission to go ahead and host that on our Canvas page and make that a resource for others to see. And you'll be earning extra credit, and it really learning how to teach a material and teaching a material really forces you to understand the material. So those are the extra credit opportunities that I'm going to offer in this class. Now, hopefully you made it all the way through this video. I want to thank you for your time and your attention. Hopefully you have a better understanding of how this course works. Please go re-watch the weekly modules portion of that. That was the main message I wanted to give across in this long video. And I will see you during the week 2 engagement.